Victory is ours.
Hello there, and welcome to AE's and Tightrope's, what the hell is this thing called? Anniversary Classic Qualification Tournament 1 Bracket Breakdown. I'm AE.
Yes, and I'm Tightrope.
The ever-present Tightrope with a fantastic YouTube channel full of amazing content, breakdowns of a lot more than just brackets. Talk a little bit about what it is that you show on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, we've got a full range of code tutorials covering all of the game's mechanics, well, most of the game's mechanics, and micro, like how to improve your game, grow your units more effectively, as well as shoutcasting, of course.
Exactly. And you will be doing some of that tomorrow, as will I, with my ever-faithful partner, Stormless. This guy's YouTube channel, by the way, is Tightrope Gaming. You'll find it in my affiliated channels on my page. So I know this is going up on my channel, and then next qualification tournament, we'll do the bracket breakdown on his channel. But let's get into business, Tightrope, and let's break down the brackets and have a look at things. So here they are. This is them. It's a series of matches that is going to lead to the top 4 seeds in the biggest money tournament in co-history. Tightrope, why don't you begin and talk us through the first quarter, the top 2 matches of the brackets?
All right. Well, at the top, we have Von Esten and Isildur. These guys, I think, are the number 1 seed. A very experienced team. So they're up against Tarnation and Troyd, who I think qualified 5th through the wildcard tournament last weekend.
I actually think that Tarnation and Troyd are a good team mechanically, and they've played together for a very, very long time. And although Von Asten and Isildur are top seed, I've actually seen on Automatch recently, some of their matches haven't really gone to plan, I must admit. And on paper, they are the top seed, but in a best of 3, 2 versus 2, anything can happen. Like if the first game doesn't go Von Asten and Isildur's favour, might be an interesting match, I think.
Yeah, Tarnation and Troyd, they play, like that's their main mode. They just play 2v2 together all the time. So they've got the good teamwork, good communications. It's just whether they can have the mechanics to beat those 2 top players.
Yeah. I think a lot of it does come down to mechanics. Then we got Stuve Kimbo versus Theodosios and Thanatos. I was surprised to find out that Theo and Thana are brothers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, me neither. I found this out last weekend. One of their friends said it in chat, and I was like, what? That's the kind of thing I wanted to know a long time ago. I hope that person in chat wasn't trolling, but
yeah, he might have been trolling.
He might have been.
Mo.
But
Didn't Mo meet them?
It was Momo that said that. Yeah, it was Momo that said it. That was it.
It was Momo. Okay, well then it's probably not a troll.
Maybe not. They're definitely German, and they're definitely damn good players. But they are up against Stuve and Kimbo, who have spammed so many hours of 2 versus 2 in the past few weeks. How do you see this match going?
Well, I don't really know what condition Theo and Thanatos are in. I talking to them a few weeks ago, and they're saying that for this they hadn't played for like over 6 months. So that's like they had a lot of experience together before that point. But yeah, that 6 months off does give me concern. Otherwise, I probably would have ranked them maybe like top 3 this tournament. But with that rustiness, I think has knocked them down a peg. Stuve and Kimbo have been spamming a lot of games, but from what I've seen, they've been losing to teams like Brosras and Ardavik and a lot of the other teams in this bracket. So I think I'd probably pick Theo and Thanatos in this one, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I probably just give them the edge just based on some of the slightly less good games Stuve and Kimbo have had on Stuve's stream. Every time I tune into Stuve's stream, they're winning about 50% of the time. Compare that to like Helping Hands and Devem, probably closer to 2/3 of the time, maybe 3/4. So yeah, it's not looking like super sharp for them considering how many games they've had. So going a little bit further down the brackets, we then come to the match I believe you're casting first tomorrow. We're not sure which channel it'll be on for Tightrope yet. It might be on Relic Entertainment, or it could be on Tightrope XILO. How do you pronounce that, by the way?
Xylo.
Xylo, okay. Twitch.tv Tightrope Xylo. Is that from StarCraft or something? Or
No. There was that's my old game attack from when I was like 11.
Oh. What Xylo was?
Yeah.
Excellent. It's a homage to your former self. I like that. How many years ago was that?
19.
Fair enough. Same age as me.
Yes.
That's good.
Older than a lot of these viewers, probably.
You're an age enigma, Tightrope, because you've got a baby face, but obviously, the hair's not what it once was. So I was like, is this guy 35 or 21? I can't tell. I'm glad that you're the average of those two ages. That's good. Anyway, making Tightrope feel uncomfortable aside, Dazara and Rutra versus Crossfire and Captain Spears. I must admit, I have no idea who would win that match. I would hesitate to say Dazara and Rutra because they were a surprise package of UTT, that big tournament Kurohi put on. But other than that, I don't have much to go on.
No, I mean, neither. I've been trying every now and then to tune in during European times to watch 2v2 matches, but I haven't seen either of these teams play at all, so I just have no idea. This is a complete mystery match for me.
Moving on. We do have a match that we know a lot about, and that is Nagano Scotch versus Von Ivan Bao Liang. What a first round match that is. That's a feisty one by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think the problem with Von Ivan's strategies now with the B4, I think it's been scouted. Okay. So I think its effectiveness is probably not going to be there. But the thing is, like, if they have a strong start and they just follow up with the B4 pressure, we saw it in that match that you uploaded. Like, you just can't claw your way back in. The B4s just kill all your units, and you just can't get map control to the munitions to bomb the B4s. It's just a vicious strategy, hard to come back if they get the strong start.
It is. I think it pushes you into, a doctrine with Stuka dive bomb, because that's the most effective way to take them out, right? And those doctrines don't tend to be the best. And the most surefire counter, by the looks of things, is actually double CAS. And other than obviously just wiping them off the map and not letting them into the game, but with players like Von Ivan, that's very difficult to achieve. So it can be hard countered, that strategy. But then also Tightrope, it kind of leaves you open to other strategies. So if you're so dedicated to countering Bao Liang's B4s, maybe you'll get infantry spam to death because you won't have built many machine guns. You won't have, gone for a support weapon orientated build. Maybe Von Ivan and Bao Liang will just go full on like G43 spam or something crazy. You know what I mean? So I think that does offer an interesting strategic point to talk about. Nagano and Scotch, though, I mean, such a legendary team. So they're probably the favourites still, but an interesting match for certain. And talking of interesting matches, I think that the Russian standoff, Brostras's team versus Jove, that on paper, that's a very evenly matched 5-hour best of 3.
You could be right on that one. Like, I think most people haven't really seen too much of Jove and Alistor recently. Like, they used to be probably like top 3 2v2 teams for ever and ever. But yeah, I don't think many people have seen much of them recently. And Brosras has just been a strong player for so long in lots of different 2v2 teams, like with Guard 2707. Who else? Teamed up with somebody else as well, but he's been in loads of top 10 2v2 teams. So this is really a really good match.
It is, and there's just enough rustiness to make sure that each game of that match lasts around an hour, I think. It's not one I'd seek out to cast because I get the feeling it's going to be a grind, a hard slog. I mean, Jove's always had this hard slogging style. Brostras and Artovic, every match you've uploaded to YouTube recently, Tightrope seems to be an hour long. So yeah, that's an interesting one. But moving on, sorry.
Yeah, I think. But the thing with Brosras is like you get to see some conscript play, and I don't know if he's going to use this in tournament, but he's using anti-infantry tactics. Like, it's such a off-meta commander. Like, it's got the KV8 and the propaganda leaf. It's just like, if you want to see some off-meta action, he's one to watch.
And there's that KV8 on your screen right now, killing a Vet 4 Foch Grenadier, was that? Oh, Vet 5 Foch Grenadier just got dissipated by Brosrass's KV8 on the screen there, so that's quite cool. So that's that. But coming back to the brackets, we get to the juicy zone, which is the zone that I believe Dan and I will endeavour to cast, or start casting, and then we'll work our way to the semis, etc. Helping DevM versus Thoton and Creative Name. I mean, I think Helping Hands is streaming right now. Yes, DevM, I think if you used cover, we would be a better team. Oh, that's an interesting point there from Helping Hands. Up against Thoton and Creative Name, I can't see that going any other way than in Helping Hands and DevM's favour. They're too, like, good at Code 2 to not win.
Yeah, like, there's two of the top players, you know, we saw them in GCS2. They're like very, very strong players. Thoton and Creative Name, though, I mean, they do seem reasonably strong. I feel like they could take a match off them, but perhaps unlikely to the series.
Yeah, but somebody that's very likely to give Helping Hands and DevM, the probable victors of that match, a real run for their money is the winners of Captain Price Particularly and Talisman Tomb. I mean, that matchup is very evenly poised, and it's such a clash of styles. You know, you've got Talisman and Tomb, who's this classic kind of apprentice and master from Finland situation. Two great players going to play the game in a very classic orientated way. Talisman's probably going to be all about the micro Tomb, backing him up with indirect fire. A classic 2 versus 2 pairing. Versus Captain and Prodigy. How would you describe them, Tightrope?
Oh, they just they do everything to the maximum.
Ooh.
If they find something that's strong, they'll exploit it to the absolute limit.
I think exploit's a good word. They exploit the game's mechanics to their limits. Anything for the win. But I think they take I think they take a passion in playing the game in a way that could be perceived as wrong, in inverted commas. They like to be the bad boys. They like to be like renegades who are going to blob your face in. And if there was an opportunity to play with combined arms tactics, they would prefer to play in a way that is aesthetically unpleasing, because that's like their personality, you know? They just love to do that. And I kind of...
Captain Price, he's been blobbing forever.
Yeah.
He's been blobbing like every iteration of Code 2. He's found like a way to blob. It was like re-echelon bar blobs or like Piet Zapper blobs. He's a blobbing master. It has to be said.
He is the master of the blob. And he's actually been doing it in Code 1 as well. I swear he was doing this.
Okay.
Don't forget, by the way, he actually found and popularized the Captain on Me bug, which was where you got the captain, the USF captain when it first came out, around the enemy lines, and then you on-me'd into the enemy's like face, like everybody, like retreat point and stuff. That was it. The bug was you use on me, and then you jump into a tank. Yeah.
And then you hop out of the tank, and the on me would permanently buff your unit after that.
Oh, amazing!
So you'd just be like sprinting around, like perma sprint. It was really busted.
Yeah, I think there was 2 bugs then. There was one that was definitely had retreat points used, the captain's retreat point as well, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong there. I do remember reading about it on some certain forums that are on lockdown on co2.org when I first got to like on the staff thing. So my first job was like, let's see all this shit that's been hidden over the years. And there's like loads about Captain Price. There's all the bugs he's used and stuff. But well remembered. I'm sure I'll take your version of events over mine any day of the week. But yeah, that's an interesting matchup, and I just don't see who I see emerging victorious into the semi-final out of that quadrant. Money would have to be on Helping Hands and Devon, but only just. I think Captain Price, particularly Talisman Tomb, I could see them being right up there with them. So Tightrope, I mean, we're going to be bringing these guys some great action from tomorrow onwards, from 12 p.m. GMT, all the way. It's going to be at least 28 hours constant entertainment, because 4 matches in a row, best of 3, 2 versus 2, that'll go long. But in all honesty, probably about 8 hours, I'd estimate, would probably be right. So if you're an American guy, don't worry. Have a lie-in. You'll still see plenty of action. It'll be fine. But if you can catch Tightrope on time, you start in Tightrope. You start in what's 12 plus 3? 15 hours time. So make sure you have a good day and have a lot of energy left over for the night ahead.
Yeah, I'll try. My strategy is to have a nap at around 7:30, around there.
Well, this is a message from me in time for your nap. Just be aware of the fact that you may be manually breathing. Okay? And that'll really help you go to sleep.
Yeah, there's been a YouTube video like how the Navy recommends to sleep in 2 minutes or something.
Oh, really?
I haven't watched it, but it keeps coming up in my feed, so maybe I have to check that out.
Well, I was trolling you, and I know why that came up on your feed, because you uploaded that video of go to sleep for the GCS2
Oh, maybe.
thing.
Yeah. It could be.
All right then, fella. I'll speak to you soon, and good luck with your casts, and I'm sure we'll see each other on the flip side. Bye bye.
Same to you.